Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Ali Show. And today, for guest number 10, we have Baby Nansen. Do we actually address you as Baby Nansen, or how do you prefer people call you?
I've always been called Baby Nansen. The only time I hear my legal name, which is Bethany, is when I'm in trouble. Which is really scary when I hear my legal name. But I've had that name.
Do you usually get people to call you Baby or Nansen?
Everyone just calls me Baby or Bepe,
yeah.
which is the youngest in Samoan.
What was that, sorry, again?
The youngest.
And what's the word for it in Samoan?
Pepe.
Pepe.
It says like P.
Oh, okay. So I actually learned some Samoan today. That's good. Anyway, baby, how have you been? How are you?
I've been good. Yep, just been training pretty much all the time.
yeah.
So fight prep.
I came like half an hour earlier from when we're supposed to do this, and I just was standing at the side and looking at you. Training the people here at the gym, and I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty full on," So you must have had quite a busy day,
Yeah, I'm a very, very busy lady.
Yeah, it seems like busy. It. And you actually also training for a fight coming up yourself.
Yeah, I've got a fight coming up.
When is it's on the 3rd of October, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was initially on the 19th of September. And then it got postponed.
Yeah.
And who are you fighting on that one?
I'm fighting Karen Pasini.
Yeah.
She's a champion, a reigning champ at the moment. I'm not too sure what weight, but she's coming down to 60 or 61 to fight me, and that's for WBO Asia Pacific title.
Wow, nice. So that's a pretty big fight.
It's a huge fight.
Pretty big belt on the line as well. So you must be working hard,
Yeah.
Before we dwell too far into that, I just want to talk a little bit. You, from what I know, you are a boxer, a kickboxer, and a Muay Thai fighter as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that I'm missing, or?
That's about it.
We might be adding like a Lethway on the things sometime in the future, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. You actually do, quite a bit of stuff. And okay, I don't want to steal this intro from you, but for those of us, or for those people who don't know who Baby is, could you give us a little bit of an intro about yourself?
Oh, okay. Let me start. So, I'm a mother of twins. My partner also fights Sam Hill.
Yeah.
He was the former 68 kg King of the Ring champion.
Nice.
My
Sam the Shank, is that his nickname?
Yes.
Yeah. Sam the Shank Hill.
Sam the Shank Hill.
Wow. Shout out to Sam.
Yeah. So I also had the twins. My brother and sister were also fighters, Victoria Nansen and Ants Nansen. Both successful professional fighters. So yeah, it was pretty much like I was destined to just follow.
A family of fighting. That's pretty interesting. So, like growing up, you were you pretty much were exposed to it already. What was the first fight, or like okay, we don't talk about fights outside of like the professional fights, but like
Not those ones.
Yeah, not those ones. I'm sure we all have had like fair share of those sort of stuff, but so like getting into the sport, which was the first one that you got into?
The first sport I got into was Muay Thai. So that was years ago, when I was 17. So my sister introduced me to Muay Thai, got me into kicking because I thought I was a good puncher. So I really was quite natural at learning how to punch more than I was kicking. So Tori taught me how to kick for a whole year, and then put me into her ex partner's gym, which is Smack Gym. So they both owned Smack Gym.
Wow.
Back then. So it was passed down from Paul Davidson, and his trainer was Brett Diaz. So he was the founder. So yeah, as time went by, I started boxing. After about 20 20 amateur fights I started getting into boxing just to get my hands back, because I felt like over the years I started losing my fluence in like
In boxing.
Yeah, so I needed to get those back. So I trained with Rebel Liga for a little bit, and then I made the move to CKB under Doug Viney. So I'm really enjoying that at the moment.
Hey you, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. He's definitely an interesting character, and he's he's as much as he likes to joke around and all that, he is very knowledgeable, and you don't just be a former world champion and not know what you're doing, right? Yeah. So talking about like growing up and fighting, and all that, you actually competed. So you competed in Muay Thai. And kickboxing and boxing.
Yes, I've competed in all three.
Wow.
So it's quite kickboxing and Muay Thai are similar.
You can actually drink your water. You can drink your water.
Sorry.
It's good stuff, eh?
It's so good.
Water. Yeah,
thanks.
No, all good. No worries.
Awesome. Yeah. Kickboxing and Muay Thai are quite similar. There's more knees and clinch involved in Muay Thai, and then they have their elbows as well.
You've had so how many? Okay, so let's talk about the number of fights. Okay, professional numbers. So how many boxing fights, or how many kickboxing? How many? Do you even keep track, or
sometimes I don't? Sometimes I have to pull out my phone and
you've actually had quite a few.
I've had altogether I think it's come up to 59 fights.
59 fights across the the different ones. Wow, that's quite a bit. You must have taken quite a few hits or kicks to the head, and
just a few. I've taken a huge amount of them, but
way too many.
I love it. I love it so much. I never thought I'd get to this stage in life, but I just really, really enjoy fighting, and that's why I started experimenting different codes. Like I went from Muay Thai to kickboxing, got a little bit lost my hunger a little bit there, so I started doing boxing.
You kind of want to keep fresh,
Yes, that's
the interest. You got to have that interest. Because once you start to drift a little bit, and then you just don't feel as motivated. That's a funny one. Using some people argue with using that word motivated. Like some people say just go and do it. And then the motivation will come after. But some people find like they need to have that motivation to go and do it. So where do you think you sit on this spectrum?
I think I sit in a high spectrum of being motivated. But I also have days where I don't feel like training, especially when I'm fight prepping, because I'm just always tired. Because then I also have to have a good energy when I come and run the gym at the end of the day, which is a smack gym.
As a coach.
So I got to switch roles every time and make sure my energy is good. But like behind closed doors, I am so tired. I'm a wreck.
Do you drink a lot of coffee, or you're a coffee person? Or
I was a V. I still am. I'm like a V sugar-free.
Okay,
person.
Sugar-free. Yeah.
I try to.
Because that stuff has a lot of sugar.
I know.
That's crazy. Have you've actually understand you spent a bit of time like in Thailand as well. You've trained over at Tiger Muay Thai, and I mean, being in Asia, you've seen those gold Red Bulls as well.
Those are so good.
Those stuff is man, it gets you like
it gets you pumped.
Yeah, Red Bull gives you wings, and
Red Bull, maybe too much wings sometimes.
There was a time I think I had like one too many, because I was I remember there was a point in time I was actually working day shifts and night shifts. So basically just round the clock,
Yeah.
And those are the days, we want to try to earn some money, we want to like buy stuff or travel or whatever it was, And so I was just on, my diet was just food and Red Bull. So I didn't even drink a lot of water and stuff like that. And just one too many Red Bulls. And I was driving one day, and then my whole body just froze up.
Oh no.
And I was on the expressway. And that was horrible. That was horrible. So I actually had to like pull over on the side, stop, and like for that, that minute or 2 minutes or whatever, I just couldn't. My whole body just started to cringe up. I couldn't move. And that was the day I was like, oh shit, I gotta cut this this Red Bull. And I was like, yo, it's not it's not good for your your health, and it's so dangerous. Like if I couldn't have like moved over to the side, and like ended up in a accident, that would have been like really horrible. So like I was like, nah, gotta cut that all together. But sugar free. It's sugar free. It's a good way.
Man.
Well, it's not the best, but
it's not the best, but
you gotta have that caffeine when you have like a busy schedule like yourself. Like you, in a way, I think like you can't. You gotta have something.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about like food and all that? Do you have like a good nutrition plan? Or
I have a good nutrition plan, but like sometimes I crave lollies. I got a bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah, same.
So I like a salad, chocolate bar. Or, it's just like I gotta stick to the program.
That's it. I'm quite a sweet tooth. It's so hard. It's so hard. I don't know how people do it. Like and some people who just go without having any. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how.
Very disciplined, eh?
And so back to having those 50 fights. What would you say has been like one of the most biggest, or would you say toughest or biggest fight that you've had so far?
All of them are tough. The fights that stood out for me was Michaela Mayer, and she's number 3 professional boxer in the world. Fighting her in Madison Square Garden, that has got to be my
top of the list.
One of my hardest fights. But I was also honored to be in the same ring as her, because she's such a classy fighter. And one day she's got to be lined up to fight Katie Taylor, I reckon. Because
what's Katie Taylor's weight class? It's like somewhere around 60-ish?
60, yeah.
60,
she's lightweight or super featherweight? No, super, what do they call it? Yeah, super, no.
Super feather. Oh, is it? Huh?
Damn.
Yeah, there's so many weight classes. I'm
confused. Sorry, you caught me at the end of the day. I'm like trying not to go blank. Sorry about that.
Yeah, too many weight classes. It gets a bit confusing. But, in saying that, like the names, usually people remember like how many pounds. Like, especially, in the US, like they don't really say, kgs, like, say how many pounds. But I think that was one of the good things about like having this, different, like a lot of weight classes as well. So it avoids having like a big gap, people having to do like ridiculous weight cuts, which it still does happen. You see a lot of people who cut way more than, like you look at them like you're not naturally, or you'd understand if you cut like maybe, a couple of pounds here and there. But like some people do big cuts, and when you get in the ring, especially with like a way taller fighter, and like they just like it's just so weird. You should show the same weight, So for yourself, like when you fight, how much do you usually drop, or like?
At the moment, I've been walking around at 63 kgs. 64 when I'm like eating
too much
bit
lollies.
of cake or so. But I've been really good off my weight. Been good off my eating, making it just having a better relationship with food, because if I binge, I can really binge. Just getting a routine around my eating plan.
But that's the thing, like especially being a sweet tooth as well.
Yeah,
that when you hold back for so long, And then when it comes like, you know, time for you to have some, like sometimes you can just like keep going.
Yeah.
You just
And then
keep
sometimes
going.
you get sick because you've
Yeah, you had to.
sacrificed yourself for so long. Or you
Yeah.
sacrificed the
Not
lollies and that.
having.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I also got to think about my performance. You know, like as much as
Definitely.
I love those lollies, I gotta start putting better fuel in my body to perform.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
so.
right. But well, you know, you could always have that 90%
Yeah.
clean diet,
Yeah.
and then the 10% of stuff you're not
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm getting into milky bars at the moment.
Ooh,
I've changed it up.
way too many. Way too many.
They're so good.
And talking about like, you know, going over to the US and fighting over there, you know, you've been to shops over there and you'll see like,
Oh, they had the best shops for
it's
food
like,
and lollies.
even with chocolates, you know, some of the
Yeah.
boys who, the UFC boys who are in Vegas right now,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
saw Carlos actually posted,
Oh, man.
like he just like, you know, just shot all the chocolates in the shop. I was like,
Oh,
yo,
yeah,
there's way too
yeah.
many.
Yeah.
But well, I'm pretty sure they're not having any because he just takes the videos. But obviously, I think they're quite on, you know, they with the possibility of having a fight
Yeah, that's
coming.
awesome.
You know, you got to control yourself as well. You know, like you're dying. I mean, you can always like sneak one in here and there.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do much damage because you just burn, and especially for yourself, like you know, with a. You know, how many times a day do you train? Like, you know, you have your 2 sessions? Or?
It depends, but in my program at the moment, I train about three, 4 times.
Ooh,
Yeah,
4 times.
because some of them are technical, you
Yeah.
know, but not all like 3, 4 hard trainings. You know, some days, sometimes some of those sessions is conditioning. Some of those sessions is just working on technical stuff, speed work, and then you know I get my pads from Doug.
Definitely.
So yeah,
And that's the one as well. You don't want to get to the point where you burn out.
Yes.
So you've got to be careful. You know, you know, you hear a lot of fighters, you know, share their experiences about like overtraining.
Overtraining, yeah.
And you
for sure.
And that's like, you know, different people have different ways of, you know, thinking. Some people are like, nah, we don't want to like rest or relax, but you burn yourself out too much. And you know, when it comes time to fight, you're like, ooh, you know, and that's where, you know, some of the saying goes like, you know, you have the gym killers.
Yes.
But then when you come to the fights, like, ew, what happened there?
Yeah.
So
just gotta train smart.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you could train like a few times a day, but it's just being smart about
Being
like
smart.
when to push, when to pull back. You know, when to take it easy a little bit.
Yeah.
That,
Even recovery is part of the
Definitely.
training as well.
what do you do for recovery? Do you have like any specific stuff or you do
I
those
go for
ice baths and stuff
Not
like
at the
that?
moment. Yeah, I need to be doing those to be honest. But at the moment, I just go for spa, light sauna. That's pretty much it. Yeah, and I make sure that I get a massage as well. I need the full Thai massage. I really like those just to get
Loosen up,
Yeah,
right?
loosen up because
But
after the week of training,
Is it like the full Thai massage or
full Thai massage where they like fully stomp you, or not stomp you, but like they're like standing on top of your body and clicking it.
Yeah. I was like, you know, and you know, my first experience like having a Thai massage was in Thailand, you know,
Yeah.
and like when they started pulling, I felt like my body's gonna break. I was like, yo, you know, what are you doing? I was like, take it easy. And they're like, you know, because, you know, you have these ladies that are like, you know, they don't really look like buff or anything, you know, they look small and skinny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, going in,
Buzzes me
okay,
out.
yep, you know, you just lay down, your face down, you're like, oh, yeah, it's not gonna be that bad, you know, and then they come in and then they, you know, sit and then they pull your hands, like, oh, like, what is going on?
Even you just doing that one movement, I know which one you're talking about. 'Cause that's the one that I can't stand.
Whoa, I was like, man, and then you start to realize how, you know, how stiff your body is.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you need to like start working on some stretches and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So yeah, back to fighting at MSG. You know, must have been a pretty cool.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, you know that's the thing. Like, not everybody gets to go and fight at MSG.
No,
you know.
I'm
You've actually
definitely. I'm
unlocked-
so lucky.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky
Wow,
to have that opportunity.
it's not always. I mean, you can't just get there by luck. You know, obviously you know, very talented, skillful, and you've done your work, and you know, you've proven yourself to get to a stage that big. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
how was that? What was that whole
that
experience
was
just
so
being
cool.
there?
Yeah, it was the best experience I've ever had. It was huge. So not only the fight, but like getting to sit down and watch the rest of the fights and looking at the atmosphere. I've never ever been to anything like it. So I had an awesome time there.
The vibe there as well at
Oh, it's
MSG.
huge.
Wow, you know,
It's magic. It's
like
amazing.
when you sit back and you think about it, like, you know, I fought somewhere where some of the greatest of the greats, you know, have fought. Like
Yeah.
you think about it, like wow, and you know, unfortunately, it didn't go your way. But how could you like you know, what are the things that you learned from that fight, or
Things that I've learned for that fight was definitely to just because I made the shift to CKB, I wasn't doing the program properly because it was still quite new to me because they train very smart there. So getting into the conditioning and that I wasn't really doing it properly the way I should be doing, but it's definitely something that I took away from that fight was just getting the conditioning program better. So
hey,
now
you
that I've
don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.
been there for about 3 years, it's sad to say, but I've finally got used to the program that was made for me.
Because they definitely have, you know, over at CKB have figured out or unlocked, you know, like a certain way to doing things, and you know, obviously with the minds that they have there, you know, and just working with a lot of people in other areas as well, you know, and they've developed something different.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
it's huge. Yeah, the people that come through that gym are just stars. Not only the fighters, but just the connection to people like David Neath. David Neath is awesome. So I've had a couple of sessions with him, and it just blew me away. Like he's definitely put a switch in my head that was needed to be switched on for a long time.
He's a real intelligent guy, and you know, just talking to him, and like even what I said when the podcast that I did with him, you know, like there's a different vibe you get around people, and like when you sit with David and you talk to him, like you feel it, you know, and
his energy's so good.
Definitely. And what I loved about David as well is he, you know, even on the podcast, he shared like a lot of stuff, you know, and that was what we were joking about. Like, should we start billing people for the podcast? And you know, we were joking about it, but you know, that just so much in his head, you know. But you know, he's a big guy, so he might have a lot of information in him. You know? we joke about this, and David, he's probably getting angry
cool.
now. But yeah, he's a real cool fella. But yeah, you know, like getting the access to all these people, and you know, that's the other thing I would say maybe for boxing is about having, you know, more for boxing is like having the right connections. What do you think about that?
It is about having the right connections. I say that I just go off the flow of things, but I'd love to have more opportunities in boxing. But with a coach like Doug Viney, I'm sure it won't be too long of a time to get more. So now that I got this awesome fight with Karen Pasini, this is going to open up more opportunities for me. So I'm just, every single fight that I have is an honor. But this fight, I have to win, and I'm gunning to win.
Yeah.
Because if I win this, then I get
Opens
into
a
the
lot more
ranking.
doors.
Yeah, get into the ranking
Definitely.
to get a real title. So it's huge for me.
Definitely. One of the things that, you know, there's several ways how the boxing system is kind of played, you know. You either have like very good connections and you have the right people, right management and stuff like that around you. Or the other one is to go in the rankings and, you know, get your way up in the rankings as well.
Yeah.
Because that way it's quite hard to deny to deny your, you know, your chance or your chance for a fight or whatever. But still, you know, we see a lot of like, you know, funny stuff going on, and you know, it's about money. You know, we talk about money and like a lot of other factors that come into play as well. It's quite a tough sport.
Tough sport.
Yeah, definitely. So is that kind of why you you know, kind of keep your options open and you compete in all?
That is why I keep my options open 100%, is so that you know, I keep active, I keep hungry. If things don't go well in boxing, then I could just, you know, change it up a bit.
That's actually a really awesome way to, you know, have it, like, you know, staying, because that's the other one that catches a lot of people, is not staying active, you know, staying, you know, having that, staying out of the ring for too long, and then lose motivation to train, because when, you know, it's different when you have a fight ahead of you and when you don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely the pace that you're going, how hard you're pushing. It's different, eh?
It's different. I've recently, I think it's been about a year now. I've been consistent in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and MMA lately, and I'm just loving it. But the opportunities, again, because of my experience, is going to be very limited in New Zealand. But I'm hoping to get into that as well. That would be just dope.
Definitely. I mean, like, you know, just with what you're doing and what, you know, a lot of the fellas are doing over here, you know, just they're opening a lot of doors and a lot of eyes, you know, are looking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you never know, you know.
Never know.
Yeah, you never know. And you just gotta,
Yeah.
and like, that's what's awesome. So what you're doing, you know, you're just learning and you're just grinding and learning, and, you know, if it comes,
keeping the mind hungry.
if it comes, you're ready.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not gonna be like at that time and then you're like, oh shit, you know, I gotta start training this and that, and you already got it in your pocket. Hey,
yeah, definitely. You know? Can never get enough knowledge, you know. And I'm new to MMA, but MMA, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. So I tried keeping that. I only stopped when lockdown came. So, you know, when we got hit with COVID, then lockdown, that's when it all changed. But I was still doing it at home and doing little videos and lives. It was awesome. I had to make the most of that time.
You learn from, you work with what you have, you know. Just check on YouTube and watch the UFC and okay, I'm gonna try this and this, and then you know, obviously Sam's got to be your dummy now, because
me and Sam have been going hard at it, so we can't wait till it's opened up so we could get back into the groove of things and start the 10 a.m. MMA classes again, because we really miss those. Miss the Tuesdays and Thursdays jiu-jitsu, Tuesday wrestling.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so you guys have pretty much you know, it sounds like you guys living, you know, the life that you really want, you know, like.
We are living the life we want, we love as well. Like, as hard as it is, I am just so happy. I'm learning all the time. I'm constantly learning. And I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with things. Even though I'm a wreck at the moment from fight camp, I'm so happy at the moment.
So, you know, talking about like you know, going to MSG and all that. So you've actually been around. You've traveled for fights or, you know, for training and stuff like that. What are some of the interesting spots that you've been, and is there any like interesting stories from those places?
I stayed in Thailand. I did a leg in Thailand, Koh Samui. So I was at WMC Lamai, and back then it was Trainer Gay and the legend Knockweed, Padang. They were all training us there. So I got into a bit of training for about, I think, 12 months.
Wow.
12 months training there, and I loved it.
Wow, that's quite a while. Living that Thai life.
I learned to speak a little bit, but I really enjoyed it there. So that would be one of my highlights. And MSG, that was one of my highlights. Every fight I fight overseas has been pretty cool.
I saw a photo of you training at Tiger Muay Thai with Valentina Shevchenko as well.
Yes, that was one of my highlights.
She was one of the UFC champions.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. How was it like training with her over there?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, because actually we've done training before and we knew each other from Muay Thai World Champs.
Oh, okay.
So I've been there 3 times. And she was just smashing girls there. She was absolutely smashing girls. She won gold every single time.
Wow.
Just smashed the girls. So she was quite intimidating to everyone. Like, she'd always sit on her own, do her own thing. It was quite cool. But I went in. I had to meet her.
Yeah.
So from there, we've kept in touch and trained at WMC Lamai for a little bit, did a bit of sparring, and then I happened to be in Thailand at the same time as her, and then asked she asked me if we could hook up and do some training. So I was quite stoked. I was like, oh my gosh, she still remembers me. I was like so happy. So I did some training with her, and it was just awesome. Yeah, felt like old times.
I mean, maybe it's also because like the fact that when nobody wanted to talk to her or when she was isolated, you kind of went up to her and made friends,
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm sure, if it was anyone, I'm sure they would remember you.
Yeah,
and you have a very like a cheerful, bubbly personality. You like talk to everybody, so I'm sure people remember you.
Oh, cool.
I was actually watching one of the there was the highlight video of the. Oh, what's that? That ladies, that all ladies fight card. So there was a show on Vice, was it? Yeah, and they did. You were not fighting on that one.
I didn't fight that.
But one of your girls was, and then
and
they was talking. One of the lines I heard was someone was saying, everybody in South Auckland knows who you are. They don't know anybody who doesn't know who you are.
I've been around.
Yeah.
Probably see me running around all the time, running the hills, running the track and stuff.
And
you're quite a bit.
You're quite well connected, like in the neighborhood as well. So that's awesome. And one of the things I is about like growing up. I understand you had quite a tough childhood and early years. So how was that? Could you share a little bit about that?
Had a bit of trouble in primary school, with dodgy caretaker. But I think that really wrecked me growing up because when I started high school, I had emotional problems. Like, I was always quite angry and didn't trust people. I had trust issues. So I found it really, really hard to show what I'm really like because I was polite to everyone, but I just had a bad switch where I just like nut out and stuff, lash out and rage. So that was really hard for me. My sister saw as well and was quite worried. So she got me into Thai boxing at Smack Gym when I was 17. And then I started getting really, really addicted to training. Like, I really loved it, and it was a good outlet for me at the time. And then I decided I wanted to try out fighting because I was like a heavy drinker and smoking ciggies and stuff. So I wanted to try fighting, and then I quit smoking, went through the process of quitting my ciggies and that, and then got into fighting. I got into sparring, and that was hard. That was so hard. Oh man, like
definitely got to quit the smoking.
If I didn't quit the ciggies, I'm sure I would have been on that floor so many times. But I had to get into a routine and with running and never touching those ciggies again, and just learning how to spar, learning how to take a hit, give a hit. It was all, and I was just loving. I was really addicted to learning. So, and nothing's changed now. I'm still addicted to learning new things. So.
And that's the thing. Like for someone who's like you stay in a way, you stay interested in learning like new stuff. So it's not like when you hit a certain plateau, you feel like, oh, I just don't feel like doing it. So that's also interesting when you learn all this different stuff. You're always like engaged, and you don't like doze off or slack. So that was awesome. Fighting, and then you had twins. You have 2 beautiful daughters.
Yeah.
How's that whole experience being a mom?
It's so good. It's I love being a mum. when I had the twins, as soon as I left that hospital, I said to my partner, I was like, I'm so coming back to the gym, because I got kicked out of the gym.
Oh.
My sister had to kick me out of the gym because I was just too big, and
Yeah.
like I
And
just
you're still
wanted
training.
to just keep training, and like and like a full-term woman,
Yeah.
I pretty much looked like a full-term pregnant woman, but I was only, I think, 6 months at the time, but I was huge, and
Oh, yeah.
when I was kicking, my tummy was going up, and so I was like, no, you're getting out, and you're not allowed to come back to the gym. I'm like, no. But so yeah, I had to do it for my twins, and play it safe. And as soon as I came out of the hospital after two weeks, I said to my partner, take me to the gym.
Back to
Take me
training.
to the gym, yeah.
Back to training.
Back to training, yeah.
Wow.
Bring the capsule here.
Mm.
Straight from hospital, came for my first train. And yeah,
Wow.
I'm addicted to this place, you know.
That's crazy.
like,
And
yeah.
how old are your daughters now?
They are 8.
8.
Yeah.
And are they like getting into the sport as well?
Yeah, they're getting into it.
Wow.
But I'm not forcing them to get into to fight or anything yet until they tell me themselves that they're ready to fight. But as long as they know how to like defend themselves and block punches and stuff, like it's crazy world out there. You got to get our kids ready, build them up,
Yeah, definitely. It is a dangerous world out there, and you got to at least teach. I feel like kids these days at least need to learn the fundamentals of protecting yourself.
Yes.
Don't get
100%.
not only just girls. I'm talking about like boys and
too,
girls.
yeah.
You need to know at least the basics. And
For sure.
what's interesting is when you learn like martial arts or combat sports and stuff like that, you no longer become the aggressor because you have you get that discipline. And when you disciplined and you just don't just like go out and start bullying stuff.
No.
And that's one of the big problems. Like I feel like in this day and age, even in our days, like was bad. It was the bullying problem was like crazy. So if you're a small person, and like I was as well, I was a very small kid, I was like a skinny, scrawny kid, and like I got bullied a lot, and it'll get to a point where it's hard to say. Like some people break, but then for some other people it turns you into like something that even the bullies are now afraid of.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So it's like it's very hard. And like back in those days there were not as much like intervention. We were not really educated about like bullying and stuff like that, and people didn't really care. Like
No.
they didn't really worry about like bullying. Like all it was just going to school, studying, and then you go off, and we don't want to see you, those sort of stuff. But in these days I think now it's way better. Like they have a lot of programs, they have a lot of talks.
It's
and
awesome.
there's a lot of help out there for people who are victims of bullying, and more ways for them to like speak up and try to get help as well.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that I think that was quite hard back then is we didn't really have a lot of help, and we only did it the way that we know best, was to fight back.
Yeah.
So if you hit me, I'm gonna hit you harder.
Yeah.
You come at me, I'm gonna come at you harder. And that I mean, in a way, like it really screws up with it screws up with your mind as well. Your whole the way how you think and you do things.
For sure.
It's just I don't know. Like it was some people just fall off and they just go way off the end up in places you don't want to be and stuff like that. So that's well, now it's way better. It has help now. People can get help, and that's good. And I think that not only that, like more people are actually I feel more people now are stepping up to stop when they see bullying and stuff like that happen. More people are coming forward, and it's like, hey,
that's awesome.
you shouldn't be doing those stuff. And because it worries it worries me. I got kids as well, so what worries me is like when my kids grow up, and if they and especially when your kids grow up and they in a vulnerable position, sometimes you just you think about it and you're like, ooh, you know,
Yeah.
it gets you reading, but
scares me, eh? Scares the hell out of parents, you know.
definitely, as parents,
It's
definitely gonna.
there's a different type of fear when you have children.
If it's
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
and your kids, you know,
Yeah,
it's completely
yeah.
different. But yeah, you know, I think it's good that kids are learning.
It's so
More
good.
kids are getting into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit about the Smack Gym.
Okay. Yep.
So could tell us a little bit of the history of the gym?
So the Smack Gym was Smack Gym started in 1989.
Wow, it's kind of a wee while.
Yeah, so
So
that's
that'll be 31 years.
31 years.
Wow, that's a while.
So 1989? Yes, 1989. So Brett Diath was the founder of Smack Gym. Before Smack Gym,
I've got to ask, does the SMAC stand for something?
it originally stood for Southern Martial Arts Centre.
Southern Martial Arts Centre, yeah.
Because it used to be a Taekwondo based.
Okay.
It was like a mixture between Taekwondo and kickboxing. And then when he passed it down and settled with a family, he passed it down to Paul Davidson. And then Paul Davidson and Francis Visitoli, which is the old coach as well, they both turned it into Muay Thai. So they got more clinch exposure they exposed the fighters to more clinch, elbow strikes, and then Francis and Victoria, they ran the gym for a while, and then they got the juniors involved in fighting. So they started taking the juniors and even the seniors to the worlds, getting medals there, and having more exposure to titles, because my sister was once the WMC president for New Zealand.
Wow.
So she was really busy. She was like putting the exposure out there for our young ones and getting the opportunities for them to fight, smash out their goals and get titles. So my sister did a very big thing. She's huge in Muay Thai as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's a respected woman in Muay Thai, definitely learnt so much from her. Like I think she saved me from ending up in the wrong path,
going off the rails and kind of pulling you back.
Yeah, she did. She kicked me on my backside, you know. She didn't just save me from the dark. She walked with me. And made sure that I come back, you know. So and then when I started Smack Gym when I was 17, that's when I just got heavily addicted to the sport. I really loved it. I wouldn't say it's addictive. I'd say it's more like I made it my lifestyle, you know. And everyone says these hobbies and that, but this is my life, and I chose to have this life. So as the years went by, Tori moved on, and she's now settled with her husband in Featherston, and they have branched out and made Smack Gym Featherston. So that's in the country. That was pretty cool. And then I took over and helped to look after Smack Gym here, because Francis wasn't able to train here and manage. So like within like 24 hours, I was asked and appointed to be the manager of Smack Gym. But I had plans of Sammy to like go and rack up the fights in Thailand. So I was like, we had this huge plan after King of the Ring, like, let's take our kids, let's go to Thailand. But then, you know, we felt like we had to be there here, because if it wasn't for us, this gym wouldn't be around still, and I couldn't do that to the people, you know.
Definitely, you wouldn't want to leave, just like that, you know. When when that responsibility fell upon you, you felt that you had to, you know. It's only right.
It's only right, yeah. It's only
But
right.
that would
to-
have been cool too, like
Oh,
moving to
man,
Thailand. And
that was-
oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
I was like, right, I'm gonna get my 100 fights.
Yeah.
That's what I've always said. I was like, I'm gonna get 100 fights.
and-
I don't think I'll get there, but
But you, it's. I think it's like very possible over there because they
it's
fight
possible
like
there. That's why I wanted to go
there's like
there.
fights every day, every week. It's like man,
That's
it's
why I
crazy.
wanted to go there. I wanted to just rack up the fights
Mm.
and then come back and be like,
You could, and some of the
Yeah.
like the pros over there
Yeah,
fight.
yes.
They fight like I hear 3-4 times a week,
mm,
and sometimes even like back to back. That's so crazy. Like
it's crazy.
so you get hurt and then you take 1 day to recover and then fight again.
And their sparring, well, I've found at WMC Lamai, their sparring is quite light.
Yeah, that's
because they
the-
save it for, because they're
Yeah.
active fighters,
Oh,
they save it for the ring.
And that's the one that I felt,
Hard out.
I really liked. That was one of the things that I learned about the Muay Thai fighters in Thailand.
Very
Which
technical.
they're very smart. Like
Very smart.
when they spar and when they train, they don't really like throw heavy hits
No.
and stuff like that. Hey you, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. One of the things I learned, I hear a lot of podcasts, you hear a lot of interviews, I watch a lot of stuff. And a lot of the, like even the UFC boys who go to Thailand to train and stuff like that. And, a couple of them who like went on to like the Joe Rogan show and stuff. And they said like, one of the interesting things they learned about Muay Thai fighters is they're more technical. So they don't look to hurt themselves in sparring. And like when they actually go into the fight, that's when they release
Yeah,
everything,
for sure.
And I think that's a really smart way to do it, because like we said earlier,
Yeah,
you don't
for
have this
sure.
gym wars and this gym killers,
Yeah.
and then when it comes to fight night, you're like, ugh, you're so bashed up.
Yeah. Gotta
really
Gotta
perform.
be smart. Like it gets exciting. It is hard to not be so excited when you spar, but you also gotta be smart and gotta think of all the knocks that you get to your head.
Ooh, yeah.
Like gotta be smart.
This was one of the interesting ways someone put it. Was like you've got to look at it like there is a certain number of knocks to the head that you can take in your life, and every time you keep taking a knock, you're just minusing off one, minus one, minus one. It'll come to a point where you've taken one too many, and then so why risk taking like too many heavy shots like in sparring and stuff like that.
For sure.
And this is my opinion of everybody has their opinion, right? Which is fine. Everybody can have their opinion. Like if you think about like if you've been taking like too many, if you're having like wars in sparring, how are you actually gonna learn? Like you're too focused on like
winning the spar.
Yeah.
Winning the spar.
and then you forget like about
forget
what
about
you're learning and
forget about what you've been learning over the week. And
yeah.
what your coach has been telling you all the time to
Yeah.
do, it's definitely something that I need to balance. It's okay to like hit
Yeah.
and get the target or like to go hard, but
You kind of need to sometimes.
yeah.
There
There's a
are
time.
some. Yeah.
There's a time to
for
go
it.
hard and there's a time to just pull back
Definitely.
a bit. You got to be smart.
Definitely. It's about trying to, and one of the other ones is to try to land. Sometimes, you learn some of the fancy stuff in sparring, But you got to try.
Try it out. You got to try new things.
if
that's
if
the
you
best thing
don't,
about
if
sparring.
you don't want to try the fancy stuff for the first time in your actual fight.
Yeah, in the fight, no. You got to practice it. Practice.
Oh yeah, one of the things I want to ask, like you actually met your partner here at the gym.
Yeah.
That was how you guys met. And what
Yeah.
year was this in?
Oh, damn. I think 12
years ago.
12 years ago.
So you were actually training here, and
I was training here and I didn't realize he was one of the fighters for a while. But even before he was a fighter, I graded him and I didn't even remember that I graded him.
oh really?
But he said it was like I dropped him a couple of times with the leg. What a love story, eh? I just like kept hammering the leg.
He's
and,
just
like,
chopping his legs.
just chopping those legs. But in grading, you just got to put the pressure on them. It's a big test of skill and heart. At the end of the day, you got to keep pushing through. But I graded him and I didn't realize he had a few fights. And my sister was like, she's like, baby, if you crush on my boy, you're gonna get a hiding. And I was like, and I told her, I was like, I wouldn't crush on him unless I knew it was worth it. There's just something about him, you know, like I know. She's like, baby, if you crush on my boy, you're gonna get a hiding. I was like, I'm sorry, sis, but yeah, we ended up dating, and but like I've just, you know, heaps of gyms against stuff like that, and even, you know, to this day there's rules in that, but like I felt like that's what connected me and Sam, is our love for the sport. And we just, from even now, like 10 years on, I'm still like really in love with him, in love with our kids now, and I love learning next to him. Like I love being by his side, learning, and taking the wins, taking the losses, training our asses off. Like I couldn't do it. I reckon if it was anybody else, I don't think I could do it. We both drive each other as well.
Yeah, it's different when you have especially when your partner understands what you do and has that same passion as well. It's a different kind of drive.
It's a different.
Yeah, you know, like you have some. Well, there are some people who their partner's not really that supportive of like what they do and stuff like that. And it's hard, you know, like
it really matters. It makes a difference having a partner.
You think about it, like it's hard enough training. You're physically drained, mentally as well, and then you have a partner who's like doesn't really support, you know, what you're doing and stuff like that. It's difficult. You
makes
know,
a
it's
huge
stress.
difference. Yeah,
It's a lot of stress as well on you.
It could add a huge amount of stress, especially if you're in fight camp, you know, and you've got a partner that doesn't support it.
It will affect like your performance in the long run as well,
For sure. Yep.
So talking about the gym, and understand you guys have a program where you train kids or troubled kids and stuff like that. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's cool. So I train the kids class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I do the youth classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All those classes at 4:30 p.m. and the kids that come through here are so cute. They're so cute. Some naughty ones.
Yeah.
Some naughty ones. But you know, I could just see huge talent here. Like, and these kids are sponges, and I love teaching them because they just pick it up so well. And there is some kids that learn slower than the others, but I love creating an environment for them to for an outlet, you know, because heaps of the kids as well going through bullying and being in South Auckland, you know, the crime rates are high, and you know, it's not only the kids, it could be the parents, you know, like going down the wrong road, and I see it in the kids. I see a huge need for us to reach out to our children, and I'm so glad that Red Rat got behind sponsoring a couple of our kids recently.
Shout out to the sponsor there.
Shout out to Red Rat. They sponsored a couple of kids some memberships, so that was so cool, because I've overheard a few, you know, kids like down about, you know, wanting to keep it consistent in there, and so yeah, it's so good to reach out to these kids and make a difference. Yeah, so I do that, and I also got another one for program called for Genesis program for troubled youth. So I have that every Fridays, and these are all the kids, high risk kids that no one wants to take in, and those kids are, you know, they need it more. You know, Definitely. A lot of them need it more. So seeing them and reaching out to them and helping them out is a blessing to me. It feels like it's my purpose to help them the way I needed help back then. So
yeah, because if you think about it, like, you know, back then, if you didn't get any help, you know, what would it have been like, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard, you know, especially, you know, in this day and age, and you know, I've heard. I personally do not know too much about, like, you know, what is like in South Auckland and stuff like that. But you know, you hear a lot of stuff, and you know, people share their stories and stuff like that. So like, you know, to me, I feel that if the kids are learning something and they're training, you know, I would rather see the kids like tire themselves out at the gym and like, you
Yeah.
know, and then just go
Oh,
home
for
and sleep
sure.
rather
Yep.
than, you know, be out and about
Oh, for sure.
and like, you know, getting up to, you know, stuff that they shouldn't
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah, and learning self-defense, getting the discipline side here, setting boundaries for the kids, teaching them about respect in that. Because I can be a hard teacher as well, even though I'm bubbly and like really
Yeah.
friendly and stuff, you know, love people, love life. But when it comes to that time that I have to be a teacher,
Yeah, talking about
I'm
that
quite,
switch.
yeah,
You
that
gotta-
that
you
switch comes on
You
when
gotta
it's
have
time
that
to,
switch. Like,
yeah,
well, that's
yeah.
the thing with some kids. Sometimes even like you know, when I was younger, there were times that I felt, you know, there was a need for someone to be like strict to me. If not, sometimes, you know, you know,
Yeah.
you look at yourself, like sometimes you think maybe I wouldn't have taken it that seriously.
All kids need boundaries, I reckon. Children need boundaries. And it starts with the parents, I reckon. You know, like everyone's complaining about these kids roaming the streets and stuff, but like, where's the parents? And it all starts with the parents. The parents got to learn to control your kids and like to set these boundaries, to be there for them. You know, so it's definitely really, really good, like for us South Aucklanders to stand together and create more opportunities, like we were talking about before, just so that we could get the kids on the right path. You know, give them these opportunities to be better, to be fitter, to, you know, like learn to defend yourself, get the confidence. You know. And even I'm open to bullies coming in these doors too, because they will change. They will change.
They will.
And
you know, it changes your whole mindset about
Yeah.
like, you know, like, you know, as a, you know, when you come as, that's a funny one, right? This is a funny one. You know, you see some fellas who like real bullies outside. They come to a gym thinking that, oh, you know,
Yeah.
I want to show
Yeah.
these guys,
Yeah.
and then you just get humbled in the
they
gym.
they get a lot of humble pie when they go. But then they change, and like I love seeing that. I love seeing
That development.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, it's one thing to teach and mend our broken victims of bullying, but then it's another to change a bully and teach him that there's more to life. You know, give him a bit of humble pie. You know, teach him the ways. Teach him that there's more to just bullying people. You know, because they all have at the back of all those bullies, I believe they're going through mental problems or, you know, family issues.
Mental
A
health
lot of
problems.
them,
There's you hear a lot about this stuff. You know, like they're struggling and they're struggling to communicate with someone about those problems, which
and
is
then
why
they take it out the wrong way.
yeah, you take it out on somebody, which is, you know, it's sad, you know, and like
Yeah.
I've seen personally, like, you know, some kids who they, you know, in their households, they you know, either they get like beaten really bad by their parents and stuff like that, and you know, you don't know how to vent
And guess
it.
where they go? They
Yeah.
do the same to somebody else
Yeah.
because that's what they learn at home.
That's
It's
so
crazy, eh?
That whole, you know, the effect that it does. I mean, like I'm not saying, I mean, we're not saying parents shouldn't discipline. We're not telling people how to discipline their kids.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has their own way. But I still feel like there should be limits, you know. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like
I agree. I know what you mean.
you know, when I was a kid, there was no limit.
When we were kids. Oh, let me tell you, man. We got the work sometimes, eh?
Yo, we had a flying frying pans.
Oh,
and
yeah. That's how you learn how to bob and weave so quick, is it?
Is that how you learn your style?
You gotta be faster to, you know, to slip those punches and slip those frying pans.
Yeah,
The saddle.
the belt buckles.
The belt buckle. Oh, man. The worst was the belt buckle. The belt. Because, you know, it's that stingy feeling.
Yo.
You'd rather get like a jandal or anything big, but something about those,
and there was the
belt ones.
there was the ones that I didn't like as well was that, you know, the really thin canes.
Yes,
you know,
those are the worst ones.
People like when people look at it, it's quite funny. like they think it doesn't hurt, right? But what hurts is the end of it that actually like that actually scratches you and like and then when you take a shower or when like you wash your hands and it's like stinging. You're like
yeah. Those battle wounds, eh?
Ooh, but I think like
One way though.
in a way maybe it kind of you learn from stuff like that as well. You know, and like when you've experienced it before. Well, I'm not saying people then were not very smart, but now obviously there's smarter ways to do it, and like it doesn't always have to result in like that hard discipline.
I think the kids need to be like disciplined. Like there's a certain point, like back in the days, the island way was you get the beat down if you want to be disrespectful and stuff. But sometimes I feel like some of the kids need it these days. I'm like, bro, bring back those smackings. Bring back that smack or two, that's all we're asking for.
They kind of deserve it, right? Sometimes at the back of your mind, you deserve it.
Oh, yeah. So I definitely agree that, there's a fine line of discipline. I mean, it's real hard at the time because, it's all those people that bait their kids up to death. They're the ones that killed it for the rest,
Yeah.
Those are the ones that just abused it hard.
Outside of fighting, what is stuff you like to get into? What are some of your hobbies and like,
man,
you gotta have some, other than like getting into lollies and like, having a sweet tooth and having all the desserts.
My hobbies. What do I like doing? I love going for bushwalks. Just getting out and getting in touch with nature, because I'm always in the four walls of training and either the four walls of training or being a mum at home doing a mean house chores. So it is good to like get out there and put my phone down and just breathe and do nothing. Do nothing, even if it's for an hour. Like last time I went to Hanua Falls with Pepakura. So I went there with the children and that was so cool.
Nice. Oh, I actually saw some photos that you posted up as well. That's pretty cool.
It's so good.
And how did the kids like the walk and all that
as well?
They loved
it, yeah. They complained a little bit today. Poor kids have to keep up with their parents.
Yeah, they keep up with their fitness. But it's not fair. They got so much energy.
They do. You need to burn that energy. Otherwise they come home and they start wrecking everything. But yeah, they really loved it too. It's good to get out there and do something else.
Do you get into like hunting and stuff like that?
No.
Would you like to?
No, I think I'd get upset that I killed an animal. I could. I know people find it funny because I fight and stuff, but oh man, I can't hurt him. I can't hurt an animal. I know it's for good reason. It's good to do him kill, but
you look at some of the guys who go out hunting and stuff like that. Like. Well, it's I think it's a different topic altogether. It's a different mindset, but some people just they don't really like the actual like killing.
Yeah, but I eat meat.
Yeah,
which is funny.
But it's we don't see what happens, at the slaughterhouse and stuff like that. But that was one of the interesting ones. Most people who eat meat don't really like get involved with the hunting and stuff like that. But yeah, if you actually learn, if you get into it, it's pretty interesting. And there's people talk about stuff like hunting for your own food and stuff like that. And they say that there's a lot of benefits. It's not like they're not. You think about it like they're in the wild. They're not like locked up in a natural cage and like bred and like that.
Yeah, I actually think the meat does taste nicer, but that's probably because it's fresh. Like, as soon as I got some from Doug one time, Coach Doug, and I was like, yum, thank you.
Yeah, he does a bit of hunting as well. Right?
Yeah, he's quite he gets into it quite a bit.
So David Neath actually, when I did that podcast with him, apparently, so we've started a thing. Well, Junior actually started it. It's a little challenge that we wanted to keep going. Well, it was wise words from the wise man. But now, obviously, so wise words from the wise lady, right? what would be, an advice if, for the people who are watching or, people who are following you and stuff like that, what would be an advice you would give them or something you want to say?
I was going to sound like Jacinda here and say, be kind. I'd say whatever walk that you are in, do it well and just try to be a good person. Yeah, like be kind and just be humble. And if you're in a gym or want to start a gym, it's for everybody. So everyone that says that you want to come to a fight gym when you're fit, you'll never end up coming because you need to start now. And when you do join a gym, good on you. Just be open to learn. Be open to learn and also to be humble as well. But yeah, that's
awesome. That's very good. That's actually very good advice.
Yeah.
That's very good advice. I'm sure people will, some people benefit from that.
Yeah.
So baby, before we go, future plans other than your next fight on 3rd. Oh, tell us a little bit about your fight on October the 3rd. How people can get tickets and where's it at and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's on October the 3rd. The tickets on Facebook by phone call to the actual promoter, which is Bruce Glozier. He put his phone number on Facebook, so go on my Facebook and get Bruce Glozier's number. Due to COVID again, we're not too sure. Apparently the venue might change and there might be limits with the crowds. So hopefully not, but hopefully it all changes once the levels go down. But definitely go on my Facebook or Instagram and get the promoter's number, which is Bruce Glozier.
And so they can get their tickets from
through Bruce.
Yep. And it's pretty interesting with if the level doesn't go, which it should be from what we know. What we know, I think was it end of this week? Was it? It's gonna go.
End of this. They gotta confirm. Yeah, they gotta confirm again. I can't really keep track of.
It's quite hard to say.
It's but
is it
most likely.
Is there a chance that it's gonna get like the fight's gonna be streamed online or can we watch it live, stuff like that?
I'm not too sure at this stage, but I do know that they're pumping it up because I've already done the big media pump up for me and Karen. So to be confirmed, I do think it's going to be either streamed, but I will let you guys know.
On pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
But I will let you guys know. Just follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll keep in touch with you guys about it.
How do they find you on Instagram? It's Baby
Nansen.
Nansen, yeah.
BABY Nansen, and on Facebook as well.
Baby Nansen. Yeah, I'll put the links for your socials as well in the video. So for those watching, do follow Baby and I'll share the links there and support your journey. And Baby, thank you very much for
so much,
coming on the podcast today, taking your time out from your busy day, having a chat with us, and we want to wish you all the best for your future plans, and we'll definitely keep in touch.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's it from us, guys. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you on the next one.